When I first saw this house, it was very important for me that it had closets beside the closets that's inside the bedrooms, and also a laundry room.
You're watching the Bear Pantry Show.
I'm going to be reorganizing and reordering this coat closet, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you guys the story of how this house came to be ours. When Joe and I first got married, we lived in LA. We lived in a one-bedroom, one-bathroom house that was known as a mother-in-law house because of the way it sat behind a larger house. The owners who lived in the front house treated us like family, and they were very sad when we moved. Although the house was only about 500 square feet and you had to get to the bathroom through the bedroom, that didn't stop us from having a couple of parties there. We celebrated my 22nd birthday and Joshua's christening. We moved in June of 1991 because the company Joe worked for was supposed to relocate here in Fontana. Now, I was pregnant with Jory at the time, and he was due to be born the ending of July. So I still had to go back and forth to LA for my visits, and Jory was actually born in LA. We bought a condo when we moved out here, and we stayed at that condo 5 years. The first 3 years of living at the condo was pretty good, but the last 2 years were horrible because crime was high in that area and the police didn't want to do anything about it. So one day I decided that I'm going to go look for a house. So Joe was working a lot of hours. He was doing a lot of overtime. So I had time on my hands, and I put the kids in the car and I drove around the area where the kids went to school to look for homes in that vicinity. I found a house that I liked, and I called the number that was on the sign, and the real estate agent said that the house was already in escrow, but if I wanted a house, she could find me a house. She said she was a buyer's realtor. So she hooked me up with her money guy, and I saw what I qualified for, and we started to drive around town to look for homes. She didn't let me look for homes in that area where the school was located. She brought me over to this neck of the woods because she said it was a better area. So after driving around for weeks and didn't really find anything that suited our needs and our money, what we could afford, we finally found this house on accident. There was only one problem. This house was not for sale. My agent meant to take me to the back street, but turned on the street by mistake. Let's say, for example, the street is called Lemon. Well, the back street is called Lemonade. After the realtor realized that she was on the wrong street, she turned in this driveway. I noticed that the house looked empty, so I got out the car and peeked through the front window. I saw that the house was newly renovated with iridescent silver carpeting throughout. The realtor joined me as we peered into the front bedroom. We had access, being that this door wasn't here. We were the ones to put that in. Janine found out who the owners were and then called them. At first, she got the couple's son, who then gave her the number. The man said he had just renovated in order to rent out the property again and didn't plan on selling, but would meet with us because he and his wife were getting older and might consider letting the place go. The next day, the realtor met the kids and me at the house, and we toured. I loved the extra closets, the 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, the laundry room, and the backyard. I asked the gentleman if he would consider selling to us, and he said, "It's up to my wife, but if she agrees, I'll let you have it." I ran into the house and asked the wife, and she said yes. They even agreed to the price we asked, even though the house was worth more. The lesson that I want you guys to take away from this story is that no matter what you're asking God for or how long you've been waiting on it, hang on and keep the faith, because it will come to pass, all right? And I'm telling that to my own self because I've been waiting for a while for a bunch of things that I've asked God for and it hasn't come true yet, but now my faith is activated again. Remember, this house wasn't for sale. We found it on accident. And I put the air quotes because I don't feel like there's any true accidents when God is coordinating things, right? So we found it on accident. It wasn't for sale. The old man decided to sell it to us because he liked us. And he gave it to us for the price that we could afford because we qualified for higher. And it was worth more. The house was worth more. But I told him what we could afford because Joe was the only one working and I was at home with the kids. And if Joe didn't do a ton of overtime like he was doing at the time, we could have not paid the mortgage on this house, all right? So he gave it to us for the right price, and we've been here ever since, and we really do appreciate and love this home. Now let's get back to the closet. If you notice, there's quite a lot of space from the shelf to the top, so we could actually stock things kind of high. And then this is the floor area. And then it has 2 hooks to hang hats and umbrellas and bags, and then that's where the doorbell, because we have a wired doorbell, okay? So take a look inside, guys. It has this one shelf and then this bar for us to hang our winter coats. It is 3.5 feet wide by 2 feet deep, and it sits on the outside part of the house, so it gets cold in the winter and super hot in the summer. So we don't want to put stuff in here that's like CDs, which is what I had in there, and cassettes and stuff like that that could not tolerate the heat, right? So we're gonna pull everything out of the bottom. So this right here is the guitar case for one of our really old fancy guitars. Put that there. This stuff is kind of heavy, but this is the tripod for my JBL speakers. I have 2 of them. 2 big heavy tripod. Now I have to hurry up what I'm doing right here because Joe went to the gym, and when he comes back, he's not going to be able to get in the house if I don't have everything cleared away. So I'm gonna holler for Josh in a little while to come help me just move the things out the way. So this is a whole studio to take photographs. It has the umbrellas and all that stuff. I'm gonna go through this and see if this is something we're gonna keep. We'll see. It has lighting and umbrellas and stuff like that. Briefcase with what in there I don't know, but it's kind of heavy. Probably has microphones and equipment like that in there. Jada's tip jar. I am so trapping myself. This is the stuff that Jada takes when she goes and busks. All the wires are in this one, so we're gonna have to keep that safe. Don't know what's in this. Oh, this is like tile that we did. See? You guys see it? Tile when we did the kitchen. And one of the tiles that we use in the kitchen I actually don't like because it gets greasy and you can't get the grease off. Okay, these 2 heavy boxes are my books that I have for sale. Well, you can't see them down here. I'll show you in a second. And then I have this. This is what Jada uses when she busks at the beach. So we're going to leave these right in here. But I'm going to get everything else out the bottom and then see how we're going to reorganize, okay? Before I show you the finished closet, I've stopped to make some lunch. I'm making some spaghetti today. So I'm using the leftover ground beef from one of the prior videos. This is about 1 pound. To this I'm adding some diced onion and some diced fresh jalapenos. I don't have any cilantro because if I did, I would put some in here, okay? So 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm not going to put any onion powder because I'm using the real onions. 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne, and that's it. Put the fire on. I'm going to mash it with this meat cutter separator thingy here. Let it cook until it gets brown. Add some water. Let it go for about 1/2 hour. Drain it. And then now I'm adding the spaghetti sauce. Alright, so I'm going to add some more spaghetti sauce because I feel like it's not thick enough. Let me go ahead and shake it up first. I just bought a set from Costco. It came by 3 bottles to the set because we got some groceries yesterday. Put some more spaghetti sauce and it's ready. And of course, I'm going to eat this with homemade pasta. This is the 3rd time I'm making homemade pasta, guys. So I made my dough. I got it real stiff. I'm going to set it aside for 20 minutes and then grab my little machine and see how much faster I'm going now because I know what I'm doing. I'm just flattening out the pasta. I cut it into 4. I'm flattening out a piece and then cut it into the thinner ones. They still don't come as thin as the stuff that you buy at the store, but they taste really good. They're chewy, you know. It takes 10 minutes to boil. And I'm making my little bowl. Some pasta. Some of the meat sauce. Let me grab this. You see my shirt that I'm wearing? It's a brand new shirt that I made in my wardrobe. It's one of them that I didn't plan on making because I did it out of leftover fabric. I had leftover fabric for the white and the black. And here's the beautiful dish. Now let's take a look at the finished closet. So here's the coat closet. On the top shelf, I have this bin with all these threads. I counted them. I have 150 reel of threads that I got from my mom after she passed. Here are the coats. And then on the wall we have the hats and bags and Jada's violin up here. This case has some cassettes that I'm going to have to throw out. Bags on this side, and on the floor We have empty camera bags and the boxes of books that I'm selling, my inventory. This is my media closet, the one down the hallway. Records, CDs, cassettes, my books that I'm selling, stuff to make my powder bun dry mix. Pick up your powder bun dry mix, guys. This is the linen closet. I've worked so hard today, guys.
This is the Beth Entry Show.
But wait, my skirt and my hat is ready. Remember that skirt I couldn't make because I needed that elastic? Well, I made it today, guys, and I made the hat. This is the opposite side of the hat. Joe put white threads to contrast and he did a wonderful job. I do have another one just like this with the salmon threads, alright? It's a bigger hat than this one. Flip it over and then the hat matches the skirt that I'm wearing right now. I feel like I've paired it really well with the white button-down shirt. Let's step back so I can show you my blue tennis shoes. Gorgeous, right? Now this is the Brata one that I've told you guys about. Extra fabric that I put together and I made this.